My name is George Collier. Welcome to the ERP Perspective, the show where we look to empower, educate, and unleash the perspective of different industry leaders in the world of ERP. Today, we're diving into the human side of transformation, including the leadership, mindset, and communication that makes or breaks ERP programs, and in particular, SAP programs. My guest today helps organizations navigate complex ERP transformations with empathy, structure, and strategy. She's also the founder of SAP Masterclasses, which also pushes the unbiased advisory services, where she educates and empowers the next generation of SAP professionals to lead with confidence and clarity. So I'll hand it over to the one and only Sana Asha. How are you doing today?
Thank you, George. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show and talk about yourself and sort of the journey you've had with SAP. So yeah, I'd love to hear about your journey and sort of give the audience an idea of your journey throughout SAP.
Sure, absolutely, George. Thank you. So for everyone here, obviously, a lot of you know me, but for those who you don't, my name is Sana Asher. I've spent 3 decades within the SAP ecosystem, and it just feels like yesterday, but it is a long time. It's about 33 years. And one of the things I have learned in this journey is different clients, different situations, but the end is it's all about people. The software always works. That's just how it is. But transformations are not about transforming systems. It's about mindsets. It's about people. It's about understanding the human element when you are taking a certain system from a version to a different version. And most of the times we tend to forget that this is a human venture. It's not about picking up a system and having that system would do the work for you. So my specialty is the ability to work with transformation leaders, the C-suites, to understand how to execute a transformation without losing their hair, without having the pain, without going through the ups and the downs. And I have done many transformations in my career. I have been a business coach. I have been an advisory chair. I have continued to work with many clients across retail, manufacturing, life sciences, financial services. And the one thing, like I said, in common, George, is it's all about people. So I'm always trying to connect the dots with the people, and eventually transformations truly, come out the way clients want them to.
Fantastic. I know it sounds very cliche, but you've gone from that sort of boardroom to classroom approach.
Yes.
From I know it
sounds funny.
But you've decided, obviously, you want to educate the people in the community. You've seen this gap in these different projects that you've been involved in. What was the main thing that inspired you to think, look, there's a need here for people to be educated in sort of the SAP world? What was it that sort of finally gave you that idea?
So it's a great question, George. So one of the things I was seeing, right? So as you were aware, S4HANA was launched about 10 years ago, right? And I've done multiple projects on S4HANA. And early 2021, late 2020, early 2021, when Rise with SAP was launched as a fully, managed service by SAP. And I had the privilege of doing the first few projects in North America. I very quickly realized that the folks who had worked on the SAP legacy side did not understand the cloud side of things, right? They didn't understand the entire managed services piece. They did not understand how a project like a Rise would be executed. And that kind of got me thinking. And I was like, there's definitely a gap here, that people need to kind of, jump through and people need to learn through. And as kind of time went by, I was very convinced that even if you've spent 15, 17, 18 years in the SAP ecosystem, it doesn't necessarily mean you know how to do the next generation of projects, which is why I created the Masterclass with SAP, where it's a 2-day intensive accelerated course on different topics, project management, change management, enterprise architecture. But I offer support to these people who come to the class for 1 whole year. So they become a part of the community. They become a part of our teams. So they're just not coming in learning. They are actually working with us through our lived experiences. So it's not that like a YouTube course or a Udemy course or any other course, oh, you've learned it, now you don't know who to call. Who do you call? Ghostbusters, there's no one. But with me, it's like you come into the class, you learn from us. And of course, I have a team of 10 folks, who work with me. And then for a year on out, they will stay with me as a part of the community. They get to network with each other and they get to learn, right? And of course, upskill. So that's a big need I saw in the market, George, that I'm trying to kind of fill.
Perfect. I mean, I was just going to say, I think that aftercare approach is massive. So many people complete these courses, and then, as you said afterwards, they've not got that network, they've not got that sort of classroom environment again. So they're
Yes,
just left their own devices. So I think that's really important and a great asset to have to anybody in sort of the
thank
ERP
you.
world. My question was, I mean, people do these courses in SAP and other ERP systems. And then they do the training course, but then they struggle to apply it to an actual implementation or applications on massive parts. So, I mean, what's sort of missing between sort of that classroom learning and a successful SAP implementation?
So number one, I think is the support, right? That's given to you. So all of us, you, me included, we go
Yeah.
and we learn something. But when it comes to putting into practice, we start scratching our heads. Oh, let me go look at my notes again. What did I learn? What did I learn? Right? See, that doesn't happen here because they are part of a living, breathing community. So if they are in a project, they can reach out to us and say, I'm stuck here. What do I do? How can you help me? So obviously, we'll help with that. But the second thing is, we are helping all these folks through our lived experiences. So just like me, my colleagues have spent 2 decades, 3 decades in the ecosystem. And each of us collectively have so much experience that we can share, which is lived experience with these folks, that most of the times we're able to answer their questions and they're like, oh my God, thank you. Right. So it's not just learning something over 2 days, but it's learning and applying it and knowing who to call when they get stuck. So it's not, I'm coming to your class, I'm learning it, and then I don't know who to call, right? And they're also building a network within the community of people that they can lean on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that network's the biggest part. I mean, once you've left that sort of school environment or classroom environment, you've got someone who you feel comfortable to pick up the phone to or drop a message, or we've got this issue on this project. Has anybody experienced this before? I think that's invaluable to anybody in the industry.
Absolutely, that is it. And people are so afraid to speak up, George, right? They're so afraid, they're so scared that someone's going to judge them, someone's going to be like, oh, you don't know this. And the community and the support that I offer, it's like it's a no judgment zone. So what if you don't know it? I don't know so many things. So what? I mean, I'm going to ask for help. So that is that is the environment I'm creating. That's what I've created. And people are more than comfortable to open up because I truly believe you cannot navigate the world alone. You need people to support you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And that fear, I think, affects anybody in any type of education of looking silly or looking stupid because you don't know the answer straight away. And people need to be a bit more bold and a bit more brave with sort of asking questions and saying, "Look, I don't understand. Can you explain this again to me in different terms or maybe in a different scenario?" I mean, a big example I've seen at the moment is with demos. So
Yes,
there's an ERP demo. They do the demo and they says, "Has anybody got any questions?" Once they've done this course or this demo on this new ERP system, and nobody wants to ask a question or
correct.
ask that why. I mean, I think that's a major part of learning anything is asking why something's done. But yeah, I think the approach that you've got with SAP's Masterclass is definitely going to help a lot of people. And I mean, with sort of the advisory work that you have done, I mean, what's sort of the most common challenges you're seeing at the moment, sort of running into large scale SAP programs, and how are people overcoming those most common issues?
Sure. So the advisory side, George, what I see is I see clients with the best intentions, right? That they want to make it right. I see systems integrators or consulting partners with the best intentions of making sure the project is on time, on budget. I see teams who are ready and able to start the execution. What I don't see is I don't see the mindset shift. You're implementing a brand new S4 HANA project. just like a legacy project, or just as in 2010. It's not 2010, it's 2025. I don't see them looking at it through a unbiased lens. That's where I come in. I would come in and I would be, I would ask the hard questions because I'm not the software vendor, I'm not the systems integrator, and I'm the person who'll help them keep that in check and say, okay, are you completely doing, your best practices? And if someone says no, why not? Give me the why not, right? I will ask the leadership teams, how committed are you to making this happen? It's one thing to say, I'm committed. It's another thing to truly show up to every single meeting and say, I'm the person. The buck stops with me, right? So I am that person within your transformation program that's going to keep showing you the mirror every single time to say, if you want to succeed, you have to tick everything else.
I think that's so important. I mean, that accountability
Yes.
of people in the team. You don't just need one person who's accountable, but you need everyone in their positions and sort of the right mindset to move this forward. I mean, a lot of organizations are still navigating that move to S/4HANA.
Yes.
What mindset or strategy separates those who succeed from those who actually get stuck in that sort of migration mode?
So the one thing that I've seen that separates the folks who are extremely successful is number one, they're all in it together. So it's not you against me or me against the leadership team. The leadership teams, the doers, the workers, they're all in it together as an organization, and they all want it to succeed. They're all saying, we are going to do this together. Whatever it is, we're going to navigate this together. So it's a huge mindset shift. There is no blame game culture there, George, at all. There is not, oh, the CFO is not coming back to the CIO and saying, you're crazy. You didn't listen to me. I gave you all the money. It's none of that.
Yeah.
Every single person is in it to win it, and they want to support everyone on the program. The ones who struggle are truly the ones who have not had that mindset shift. Don't believe it's a team sport. Don't think that everyone needs to be a part of it. They think, okay, it's a CIO's job. Let him do it. I'll just ask him the tough questions. Or it's the plant manager's job. He's going to show up. And those are the ones who struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what advice would you give to those teams to get that better communication, better collaboration? I mean, when you go in and give these sort of unbiased advisory talk and you help these businesses, what's the first thing that you say in terms of getting everybody on the same page?
First thing I tell them is I get them all into a room and I get them all together. I'm like, all right, let's talk, because they don't even talk to each other. The silos are so high. I'm like, let's talk. Why is the transformation important to you, and why is it important to you? And turns out 90% of the times it's exactly the same answer, but they've never talked to each other. So I get these teams in the same room. I'll get them to commit to the same vision. And believe me, it's easier said than done, George. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get these teams on one table, because and look, I'm not bad mouthing anybody, but
Yeah.
you and I know this. When you divide and rule, everybody, people who need to win, they'll win. But unfortunately, when you're talking about transformations, you're talking about business, you're talking about being ready for the next decade, and you take your business there, you can't do a divide and rule. You have to think about your customers' outcomes. You have to be hyper focused on what the customer needs.
Definitely. I mean, so sometimes you need to say, leave the ego at the door, come in and discuss as a team
Yes.
how we're gonna do this transformation, because it's not a one person job. You're right. It's not just the CIO. It's not just the plant manager. It's everyone's got their individual roles, and if they don't work together, that's a main factor why projects fail.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
sort of
Yep.
collaboration, communication's key.
Yeah, and I use that line a lot. The study said that, leave your ego at the door. I'm like, just check the ego at the door when you come in.
Some people need to hear it, and you need to say that when you're coming in and you're leading a transformation project. And I know you've mentored sort of countless professionals, from change managers to
Yes.
sort of consultants. So I know throughout your career, how many people do you think you've sort of mentored, or
My
you're
God.
division?
I don't even remember. Thousands, I'm sure.
Thousands.
Thousands. Yeah,
I mean,
definitely thousands.
yeah. I mean, what advice would you give to someone who's maybe not just starting, anybody in sort of their career within SAP, they're trying to become a trusted advisor themselves, not just an implementer and really make an impact with their career? What sort of advice would you give that individual?
The number one thing I would say to them, George, is be honest. Don't be afraid to speak the truth, right? A lot of people struggle to tell the truth because they always want to cover everything up with the glossy language. And no, don't do that. If you want to be a trusted advisor, always, always, always think about your customer and what is going to work for them, right? So that means having some harsh truths in there. So be honest. That's the first thing. Secondly, if you say you're going to do something, absolutely do it. Don't just say that you're going to do it. For example, if you're going to introduce someone, to a client, or you're going to introduce a client to a reference, or whatever you're going to do it. So your word carries a lot of weight. If you're going to say you're going to do it,
Hmm.
absolutely do it, right? And thirdly, which is one of my favorite things to do, is pay it forward. If someone has helped you, please have that person help someone else. Pay it forward. That is just how we make the world a better place.
I'm a massive believer in that as well. I think that the sort of honesty, accountability, and that when you said pay it forward, I mean sometimes when you do something out of kindness to someone, it always comes back round to you
Yes,
anyway.
it does.
When you help someone else and you're being genuine and you're not doing it for any other sort of type of motive, it always comes back round, and it's just helping in that person, and eventually it will come back. And if we can build a community where people just want to help and educate and empower other people, then we'd definitely be in a very good place.
Absolutely. And then there'll be like no judgment calls and stripping down people. That won't be there.
Definitely. I mean, another thing that I wanted to come on to, I know there's sort of diversity in tech and also diversity in sort of ERP. And I know you're a strong advocate for sort of women in technology and
Yes.
transformation projects. What progress have you seen, and what still needs to change potentially to create more sort of inclusive leadership in not just SAP, but the ERP industry?
I don't think the change is there yet, George, honestly. I still think there's not enough women at the table. I am an exception. I have been in tech and I have thrived in tech for 30 plus years. A lot of women give up. Even today, I want to say a few 100,000 women leave tech every year because they can't take it. Yeah. So it's still a very male dominant profession. I really urge so many women to speak up, and I tell them that if you don't speak up, nothing's going to change. And I'm doing it because I want the next generation to be better and have a better working experience. It's not changed yet, George. There's still a lot of work to be done for sure.
I mean, you play a massive part in that. I mean, people like yourself who are, got that confidence and that years behind them, and can let, women know that it's possible. You're in a leadership position. You've helped and mentored so many different people, and it's that seeing someone else do it. And I mean, what advice or other advice would you give sort of women in the industry wanting to make an impact, wanting to make a sort of a career in tech or ERP?
The number one advice, George, I give all the female executives or ladies who come to me, talk to me, is be bold and don't be afraid to speak your truth. A lot of women, because the way we've been raised, or the way things have been taught to us. Oh, don't speak loudly, be hush. Don't do this. I think that's bullshit. Just be who you are. Claim who you are. And I'm not saying be a bully. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you are intelligent, show the world you're intelligent. You don't need to get concerted by another male who's trying to dominate you or who's trying to tell you how to do things. If you can do it better, say it. But I think women are just scared. They're afraid to create ripples in the workplace, and they see this. I see it all the time. Men genuinely do not like smart, intelligent women. So it's still a
Yeah.
lot of work we have to do there.
Yeah, I think it's the ego thing again. I think
The ego.
people don't like their egos
Yep.
being sort of
It's the ego.
yeah, or anything like that. And when you mentioned, the advice to be bold, I think definitely, I think people can be assertive, but they
Yes.
can also be kind. They can be bold, but they can, they can still be honest and have humility, but still be bold and do
Yeah,
it in the way. There shouldn't be a fear around of being too dominant or anything like that. I think you can always have the right balance.
exactly.
So there's always a
Exactly.
way to
And
do
that's
that.
the advice I give them, that be bold. Don't be afraid.
Definitely. I mean, that's great advice, Sana. And
Thank you.
coming on to sort of the big question, I know we've talked about helping consultants, helping sort of different people in their careers in ERP and SAP. If you could leave sort of every SAP professional and leader with sort of one piece of advice about sort of mastering SAP, not just a system, but as sort of a journey, maybe through sort of your streams of education, what would your sort of final message be to the community?
Sure. So SAP is not a system. SAP is actually a journey. You don't learn SAP, you live, breathe, die, eat SAP, because that's the passion you carry with you. It's not about learning one module and saying, I know it all. It's about learning the depth and the breadth of what SAP does. 80% of the world's e-commerce runs on SAP platforms. So when you're a consultant and you know one module, you shouldn't just be blindsided and say, that's all I know. You have to keep your eyes open, your ears open, and understand the bigger picture. So always understand the bigger picture, and then things will just start to make sense.
That's great. I mean, to picture it as a journey as well, I think helps people not be so overwhelmed by, I should know this by now, I should know
Right.
that, or things like that. I think if people understand it's a journey, they can enjoy it more as well. Instead of thinking it's a book that I need to understand, a system that I need to know straight away, if people can have fun with the sort of education, be happy while learning, they're going to learn quicker, they're going to absorb more information. And I think the platform or the SAP Masterclasses would run a fantastic. I think for anybody in sort of the SAP industry or working with that ERP system or wants to join that journey, I would highly recommend that they speak with you. And
Thank you.
also my clients in terms of the advisory topics when doing an S/4HANA implementation or anything like that. I'd definitely recommend they reach out to you, Sana, and have a look at the SAP Masterclasses. I'd just like to, advise anybody to go and check Sana Rash's page out, check out her SAP Masterclasses. And yeah, is there anything else, Sana, you'd like to add today?
No, I'm so grateful to you, George, for having me on this podcast. I think you're doing some great things. So lots of luck there. And thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Well, that's been the ERP Perspective with Sana Rasha and SAP Masterclasses. Follow for more ERP insights. And that's been the show today.